Hey, Sonny here. So today I want to show you how to play a song called Hungary by Winger on the first album. And before we start on this song, the tuning is half step down on all the strings. So instead of E, it'll be E flat. Instead of A, it'll be A flat, E flat, G flat, B flat, and E flat. So it's half step down on all the string. Um, and I'm recording using my webcam through my Boss Katana. And this is Washburn Idol. That's a Chicago custom shop. That's one of my go-to guitar when I play at home. I play this guitar all the time. It's one of my favorites. So, anyway, so let's get started. The beginning part of the song is an orchestra. Um, there are ways to get around it. If you play the underlying chords on the guitar, and that will be fine. So let me show you how I do it myself, and then I'll break it down for you. So here's the intro. So I'll repeat that. So basically, what I'm doing is just do an A minor chord, and just break that down as a mute and just staccato the strings like that. That's how I do it. So you do it one measure. You can just do however pattern you want. That's really I don't have a set pattern when I do that. I just play the chord while the singing's going on because I don't have the orchestra, obviously, unless you want to play the recording. So again, just and then the second chord is C. You do that three beats. The last beat you got a kind of like an F. You put your index finger down, you hold down the first fret of the first two string, and you play. So again, A minor, C, F, and then F sharp over D. Basically, is second fret on the E string, open D chord. And while you're holding the D chord, you move the fret down to F, and you play F over D. And it ends on the E7th chord. And the E7th chord is open E string, second fret on the A, open D string, first fret on the G, open B, and open E string. So again, the chords are A minor, C, F, F sharp over D, F over D, E7th. You do that twice, and then just let the E7th chord rain out. And you can do the same pattern. In the middle of the song is a clean part. There's a very fast acoustic 16th note thing going on. I just do what I did there on the acoustic part. It works just as well. It's not exactly like the recording, but that's what I do. And I want to tell you that a lot of songs that Red Beach plays, all the Winger songs are really, to me, I don't have a confidence to say that I figured the song out 100%. To me, it's really difficult to figure out a Red Beach riffs and songs. He's the master at that stuff. One of the greats. Saw him live, and I was just in awe and how amazing he is. So anyway, so that's the beginning part. So next part, we're going to go into the octave riff. It goes like this. Also, the first thing we do is an F octave. First note on the E string and the third note on the D string. Both notes are the same note. It's the F note. One is lower, one is higher. So it goes, but you gotta do the slide first. Slide down from the 12th fret. So that's the first part. So what I do is I play the F note on the E string twice, and then 3rd fret on the D, and then back to 1st fret on the E string twice, and then twice again on the E, on the F note on the E string, and then do that again. Do the A3. I'm sorry, you did D3 and E1 twice. So the whole thing slowly goes like this. And then next part is an A octave. So you open A string, the 2nd fret on the G string. Same note as A. One is higher, one is lower. So you do the open A string one time, and then open A string again, and the 2nd fret on the G string, and then back to the open A string twice, and then open A one time, and then twice on the A, open A, and then 2nd fret on the G. So far with this. Next part. It's the 5th fret on the A and 7th fret on the G. So you start on the A5 twice, G7, back to A5 twice. Play A one time, and then A5 twice again, and then 7th on the G. Hold it just slightly longer, and back to the A5. So from the beginning, the whole thing goes like this. And then 7th fret on the E, on the A string, open E string, and then 12th fret on the D, G, and B string. And then goes in the main riff. So the whole thing slowly again, the octave riff goes like this. Alright, so here's the main riff to Hungary. The main riff is mainly made up with chords, 2-note chords in the middle of the guitar on the D and G string. So it goes like this. So we start off on the 7th fret on the D and G together, and then D7 and G9. So basically we have a D chord and an A chord. So we do that, and then palm mute on the open A string, and do the same thing again, D and A. So, and the next part. Palm mute twice on the open A string, and then D7, G9. Palm mute on the A string again. Palm mute the 7th D and G string, and then D7, G9. Palm mute on the D string, A string again twice, and it ends on the G chord right here in the middle. Is D5 and G7. So far we have this. When you play that chord, when you like, give it a little vibrato, shake it a little bit. I find it easy to use my pinky. You can use a ring finger, but personally, I think pinky is easier. Once you get used to the pinky, playing those chords with the pinky and with the index finger, it's a lot easier than doing the ring finger and the index finger, because you have to stretch out a little further with those two fingers, and your hand has to pull down a little bit. With the pinky, and your index finger doing a power chord, your wrist is a lot more relaxed and easier to play. So again, the riff so far. Next part. Open A string palm mute twice, and 5th fret on the D and G, palm mute on the A string again, and then D and G string on the 5th fret again, and then D5 and G 4th. So basically what we have here is a C chord and a G chord. It's 2 notes interval. You got a perfect 4th, you got a major 3rd, G. And then you play the G chord, and you play the C chord after that. So slowly that one part again goes like this. Alright, so far we have this. Next part. Alright, so what I'm doing is I play the. It's basically you do the C chord, you will do the D5, G5, and B5 together, along with the open A string. And then once you play that chord, you will put your ring finger on D7th, your index finger is covering G5, and your middle finger is on B6. So that's basically as an F chord, as a D minor 7th chord. And then palm mute on the A twice, and then play that F chord again. Play the 5th string, so the C chord, open A string, and then play that chord again on the 5th fret, and then put your fingers on the 7th on the D and 6th on the B again. So, and then you mute twice on the A string to finish that one part. Play the whole thing slowly from the top. And after that, you play the D power chord to E power chord, and then C power chord to D power chord, and then open A string, 2nd and 3rd fret on the A string, open A string again, and then 3rd fret on the A, and then open A, and the A chord twice. Alright, so the whole riff from the top goes like this. The next part is 10th fret on the D and G. I use my pinky and my ring finger. 10th fret on the D and G. Open palm mute, open A string, and then D10, G9. Open A palm mute, and then back to the the 7th fret, D and G, and then D7 and G9. And then palming on the A open twice. So. And then play the D chord, which is D5 and G7. So at that point, you're going to play that whole, to repeat the main riff, the second half of the main riff, just like I showed you. So let me play that part right here, and I'm sure what I'm talking about. So. The second time when you finish that riff, instead of going A2-3, open A2-3, you go from A3, A2, and open A. So let me play the whole thing slowly from the top, the main riff. You play it twice, so it goes like this. Alright, so that's the main riff, and then the next part is the verse riff. Once you end on the A chord, is where you're already into the verse riff. Okay, so let me show you the next part. Alright, here's the verse riff. I'm going to start from the end of the main riff into the verse riff. The rhythm's really tricky in this verse riff. I find it to be harder than the main riff. So I don't even know if I can teach you the right way, so I'm going to try. So it goes like this. At the end of the verse riff, it goes back to the octave riff. So that was the verse riff. So let's break it down. After you play the A3, A2 open chord. So this is really important. The A chord, you gotta go downstroke first. The next part is going like this. So what I'm doing is I upstroke on the A chord, open, and then down, up, on mute, and then down on the A chord again, open A chord. Okay. And then you gotta go mute, and then up, and then play the A chord. Do it twice. And the next part. So you play these. 3rd fret on the E. And you go upstroke on the D chord, which is open D string. 2nd fret on the G, and 3rd fret on the B. So it's a G over D chord. 3rd fret on the E string, which is the G note. You play that bass note, and you play the D chord upstroke. And once you do that, you do the upstroke again in the entire chord. So next part, you play the 3rd fret on the E again, and then you upstroke on the whole chord twice. And And then the last time, 3rd fret on the E again, upstroke on the 2nd fret on the G and the open D string, and we play the D chord again. Open D, 2nd fret of G, and 3rd fret on the B. Easiest for me to do is just to show you. So I'm going to do that again, just that one part. The whole thing from the top. Okay. The next riff, open E string twice, and the F chord, power chord, and then mute on the 1st fret on the E string 3 times, the 3rd fret on the A and D string, palm mute on the 1st fret on the E again, and then you play this chord right here. It's a 2-note chord on the G and B string. It's a 5th fret on the G and 6th fret on the B. So far we have this. And then play the open D chord twice, and open A string, and then play the 2nd fret on the A string, slightly bend down, do it again, open A again, and then 3rd fret on the E string, open E, and the A chord. So the whole thing again from the top goes like this. Second time, you repeat the whole thing again. Back to the octave riff, just like we do at the beginning. Back to the main riff again. Alright, so once you play the whole thing again, you go back to the verse riff, and then we're going to go to the, right before the solo, there's a interlude section. It goes like this. I'll go from the end right here. It goes in the solo. So what I'm doing is I play the 3rd fret on the low E string twice, and then one more time, and open G and open B string, and then play the open G 1st fret on the B, open G again 1st fret on the B. So do that 3 times. Third time, and you chug on the low E string on the 3rd, the G power chord, which is E3 and A5, 13 times. So basically you do, and it goes into solo. Alright, so next part is the solo. It's a lot of bends, a lot of vibrato. It's very smooth legato kind of solo. It's very short, but it's very tastefully done. So let me play it one time fast and I'll slow down for you. Slow down one more time. So what I do is I play the 8th fret on the B string, bend it twice, bend the full step twice, and play the 5th fret on the B string, and then play the 8th fret on the B, pull off on 5th fret, and then play the 8th fret again twice. So, next one. So you play the 8th fret on the hammer on, pull off on the 10th fret. Slide down to 6th fret, do the same thing. 6th fret, hammer on, pull off on the 8th fret. And then 5th fret on the E, on the B string. On the hammer on, pull off on the 6th. And then play the 3rd fret on the B, hammer on, pull off on the 5th fret. And then slide up to 6th fret on the B, and ends on the 7th fret on the G. So, and then 5th fret on the G, and then 3 times on the D on the 7th. And then play the 5th fret on the D string, and play the 7th fret on the D string. And then bend up and release back down on the 7th fret on the D string, on the D, and ends on the 5th fret on the D. And then slide up to 12th fret on the D string, and hammer on the 14th fret, G string, 12th, hammer on the 14th fret, and the 13th fret on the B string, 14th fret on the G, and then ends on the 15th fret on the B string, bend up full step, vibrato. So the last phrase. Whole thing slowly. Okay, so after you come out of solo, there's an interlude, second interlude, that's a little different, and then it goes back to the main riff. So it goes like this. So you do the D2, G4 twice, and then D2, G2 one time, and open A string, and then next part you play D3, G5 twice, and then D3, G4 once. And then D5, G7, and then D5. You do that twice, and then D5, G5 once. And then you play D7, G9 twice, D7, G7 once, back to D7, G9. And you do the 7th chord, and then you play the A chord twice. So whole thing slowly goes like this. Next part. So you play D7, G10 twice, and then D7, G9, and then D9, G12 twice, and then once on D9, G10, and then D10, G14 twice, D10, G12 once. I will always do the open palm mute on the A string. And then next one is D12, 14th fret on G twice, and then D12, D12, 16th fret on the G twice, and then D12, G14 once. The next part you play single string on the 7th fret on the D, and 9th fret on the G, and then 5th fret and 4th fret on the D, on the G, D5, and then A7, and then open A chord. So, all right, let me play it for you slowly one time, whole thing again. And then this acoustic part comes in, and the very clean part that comes in. But like I said, you can do the chord I show you in the beginning, the intro. C, F. And when you're ending on the E7th chord, instead of doing the E7, instead of doing D7, let me go. Just open E string, 5th fret on the A string, hammer on the 7th fret, and the 5th fret on the D, 7th fret on the D, A, and then open E string. And then goes in the main riff again. You play the main riff several more times, and that's the end of the song. It ends on the A chord. So that's pretty much the entire song. There's some variation in the song, very minor variation, so I'm not going to cover that, but that's the gist of it. Like I say, it's very difficult to get everything exactly right for Red Beach songs. I'll probably play something wrong, but this is as close as I can get to this song. It's one of my favorites from the first album, first Winger album. So it's the first track, and it just comes out kicking. So comes out swinging. So check it out, listen to it, and I hope you enjoy this video, and see you next time.